Hi, I'm Mary Reece from NJPSA and FEA, and today we had our opening keynote at our LEAD conference, the NJPSA, FEA, and NJASCD conference. So I was walking through the halls after our keynote, and everybody was saying, awesome, so inspirational, unbelievable. I'm so happy you had him. So I'd like to introduce you to our keynote, Kevin Carroll, who truly gave us an injection of inspiration, as you would say. So what I'd like to do is follow up on a few things that he discussed during his presentation with us. And first, he stressed with us that we'll find the future where most people are having fun. And he talked about that a lot. So do you want to talk a little more about it to our members?
Yeah, absolutely. So that quote actually is from Stephen Johnson. He has an amazing book called Wonderland. Mm-hmm. And he researched breakthrough innovation in the 20th century, and he found a common thread throughout each of these breakthrough innovations is that the group, the team, the individual, they were actually enjoying themselves. They were actually having fun. And so he really kind of thought that, well, there's something to that. There's something to this idea of being playful and enjoying each other and the experience. And so that's where he coined that phrase, you'll find the future wherever people are having the most fun. Mm-hmm.
So for those of us who are school leaders, and most of us here are, can you give us some suggestions on what we can do within our schools to bring that joyful learning?
Yeah, well,
to
I think it starts with you and the way that you decide to enter the building. And the more that you decide that I'm going to bring this energy of enthusiasm and being present and recognize the importance that I'm modeling for others, that's one thing. And then I think you got to check on people. You got to ask, are you good? Can I count on you? Because this day matters. Mm-hmm. It is the first and the last day we have with them, right? It's their first and it's that last, because that next day is different. Mm-hmm. And I think we have to make that recommitment. So are you checking on your team to make sure they're committed each and every day? And especially people who've been teaching for a while, right? It's like, because I know the routine, I know how it works, right? I know the gates and dates, but what is the one variable? And I brought that up, I said it's the children. Mm-hmm. They change every single day, right? That's what is about development and growth. So we need to match that. So we need to have a hunger of curiosity, lifelong learning. So how are you always improving? How are you getting better? How are you staying in beta? As an individual, as a human being, how do you have this attitude that I'm always improving, I'm trying to get better? So, I think those things really matter, right? Is just how you show up each day, how you're recommitting, and how you're really staying a lifelong learner. I think those three things really can serve you well and allow you to have some success.
And you also told us to make sure we have our heads up.
Oh my gosh, right, yeah. So I call that that adult posture, right, where you're down like this, because you're modeling that for the students, right? And for the faculty and staff, they do what they see. So from a leadership standpoint, don't get upset at what's wrong with them. I can't understand why they're that way. Oh, guess why they are? Mm-hmm. It's you. Right. They are a direct reflection of the leadership. That's the way it works. So if you come in with great energy, they're going to reflect that. If you come in a hot mess, guess what? They're going to reflect that. Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed your bringing your red rubber ball to the presentation too. So I guess every school leader should have one in his or her office.
And I think that's just a great reminder. It level sets that intention, because it harkens you back to the beginning, right? When it was something simple like that brought you into the building. It represents passion, purpose, intention, and something that gets you out of bed in the morning, what you're pursuing, what you're chasing. So it's a metaphor that way. But you need to ask yourself, am I chasing the thing I should be chasing? If I am, then I need to be all in. And so the idea of what's your red rubber ball? What are you chasing each day? What are you pursuing? It's a great reminder when it's sitting there, right? And it's also like a talking stick, because people go, what's that? I got you. As soon as you raise a question, I got you, right? So, hey, here, what do you think about that? What are you chasing? Got you, right? So it's a wonderful bridge to anyone who comes in your office, be it a student, be it a faculty member, staff member, because they're going to see it. It's one of those things that draws your eye and attention. You can't take your eye off it, right? You can't, right? And so I think it's really wonderful from that iconic sense, but also that you really do see it all the time, and it's also a great way to kind of create an instigator of conversation.
Great. I really appreciated your sharing your history with us, from the playground of Philadelphia to to school, to the Navy, to Nike, to
Air Force, yes. Please, my brother's Navy though. My brother's Navy, but no, I won't claim the Navy. I don't claim the Navy. I claim the Air Force.
Sorry
Yes.
about that.
No, it's okay.
Sorry.
People in the military very particular about their branch.
And then to your mug or your cup in the Starbucks where you credited
Miss
your
Lane.
CEO, your Chief Encouragement Officer with thanks and appreciation.
Yes, absolutely.
What a
17 million shout outs to her.
Wonderful message.
Yes, I think we all have, I opened up by saying we all have stories, right? We all have stories to tell, and how do we learn not to hide behind our title as a mask, right? And how do we have the courage to bring our full self in there? And listen, you don't have to share everything. We can redact. We're all good at that. But you also need to let students and faculty know I've dealt with things and I've had to deal with difficult, and I just didn't roll out of bed and become this title and it's been easy. And guess what? If it has been easy, it won't stay that way, because it's called having a life. Life's difficult, right? But yet, you're resourceful, you're resilient, well beyond what you believe, because you were that way when you were a child. Right? We had grit, we had resilience, we had inner determination. It was amazing what we could do with very little, or we were dealing with something as children. Children are so amazingly resilient.
Well, creative too, and what happens?
My gosh, yeah, right? You need to get serious, you need to focus, right? And they take the artist out of them.
Exactly.
They take the creative energy. But what's the one thing they're going to win with now is creativity and innovative spirit.
Sure.
It's really going to win the day now. It's so important in this era, in the 21st century. You have to be a part of that. And I think they're going to model it though. So if you're not bringing that energy and you're just being turnkey and business as usual, then the students are thinking, well, I shouldn't be expressing myself creatively, and I don't know anything about innovation because I haven't witnessed it. But the more that teachers and educators and professionals and staff and administration model that, the students will take on that.
I mean, I go into a lot of schools, as I'm sure you do, and you feel it.
Oh, you can tell.
Where it's present.
You can tell the energy in a building. Sure. You can tell the energy. It's very easy.
Positive and not so
yes,
positive.
and I can tell when I go into the front office. It's very easy to tell.
Yeah,
and especially if they have the student assistants there, you can tell by the way they greet you.
Sure.
It's easy to tell.
And then one other thing, another message was listen, learn, lead, and show up. So tell us a little more about that.
Well, it's a part of a credo that we actually did in Chicago Public Schools as a project that we had. And a credo is the statement of beliefs that drives our actions. And so I said, well, it should be really simple truth, right? So the idea of listen, right? Actively be where you are, learn, right? Be that lifelong learner, lead. Everyone's a leader, right? And has an opportunity, whether you're in kindergarten all the way up to being, a superintendent level or an administrator, right? And show up. Show up. Be there. Show up with your energy, your intention, your aspiration, right? Your influence, but show up, right? And that's that idea. And I love the fact that you walk through doors, you're crossing a threshold when you go into the building. And so when you cross that threshold, you make a choice, right? You can be there and show up, or you can be distracted, right? And somewhere else, but know that that has impact. Because that one child that might have come up to you and said, hey, hi, Miss Mary, how are you doing today, right? And you're like, oh, yeah, I'm good.
Sure.
They might take that personally. And then the rest of the day, they're holding on to, well, I wonder why, and what was wrong with me? And then it spirals,
Most definitely.
right? And so I think, our actions matter, our ideas and our actions matter, and I talk a lot about that, right? How you do the little things is how you do all things. So, it's funny, I didn't get a chance to say it to them, but my grandfather made us make our bed every single day. And he said it's the first win of the day. And if you have a bad day, you still come home and you got something that went well, your bed's made. Right? And so I make my bed in hotels, everywhere, all the time. I literally, when I come in a hotel room, I walk around the bed to see what style they did, and I just mimic it. And so it freaks out housekeeping, right? They're like, does she even sleep there? They probably think I sleep on the floor and stuff. Because, the bed's perfect, right? So, when I leave, I always make a little fold so they know that I actually slept in it. But, but how you do the little things is how you do all things, right? And our ideas and our actions matter. And the whole idea of listen, learn, lead, and show up. And I love that your theme is lead. Right? And so if they take advantage of this, I really truly believe they're going to go back with renewed energy, right, and intention, and they're going to make the effort not to be transactional, they're going to make the effort to be transformational.
I know you had an impact on all of us, and I know that lead is what we're all about, and that the ideas and the inspiration that you provided us will make us better people.
Well,
I really
please know it was
appreciate
my
it.
honor. It was
No, I
absolutely my
appreciate it
honor
very
and my
much.
pleasure.
Yeah.
And I met another Kevin Carroll. That's one of the things that there
How cool
always
is that?
there was another Kevin Carroll, y'all. I'm just letting you know. Crazy, mind-blowing moment. Just throwing that out there as a finish. Yes.
Principal in Bergen
Yes,
County.
yes,
How
in
do you like
Bergen
that?
County. Yes, so who knew? You can't make this stuff up. It's what happens at the lead, journey. So,
Oh,
well,
thanks
thank
very
you. That was
much.
my
Really
pleasure. Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
and my pleasure.
Thanks, everybody.